Hello everybody, this is Techstack here, and this will be episode 7 of season 2 of my server Let's Play. A lot has changed. I don't even know where to begin, to be honest with you. So let's just go at it. Let's show you some of the stuff I've done. I've kind of taken the area I previously used for the cow farm and just changed it to be like my TSCraft area. I originally had planned to do all the TSCraft building down here, but after I built it, I kind of didn't really care for the cave feel of it too much, and it was kind of open. I was afraid, creepers or something would sneak up on me. So I went ahead and took advantage of the fact that I put a roof over it, and then just built this, what do you want to call it, railing around it, and just set up shop up here. And, I took advantage of the fact that there was a silver wood already up here. Put down my scribing table and all these different parts for TSCraft. Got a water source over there. As you can see, I now have a crucible set up so that I can throw stuff in there. I did all this and then did very little with it. So I have a nice place set up now. I think it looks nice, just to go and do research. It's also pretty protected. There's only one entryway in there for mobs, unless they can fly or something. But yeah, today I logged on and had a surprise. Diego, one of our server members here, had left me this. It says, "I thought you will want this," and it's an Enderman soul shard, level 5 or tier 5. Thank you, Diego. That's awesome. That's one of the things I've been wanting to work on to get to tier 5. But I just haven't had the time to go sit in the end and spam the click button to kill all the Endermen. That's about all it is involved in it. It's just really time consuming though. So thank you, Diego, for doing that. I'm assuming he wants me to use this in the new improved XP farm, mob drop farm that we have going on. So I will be putting that in there. As you can see, I have the pneumatic pipes missing. Taken our 2 previous mob farm soul shard setups, deactivated them, taken the shards out, taken the brains out, moved our enchanting table, all of that stuff. The reason behind that, let's just take these books. The reason behind that is I've got a much improved version of it going on. It is now, as you can hear from these cows here, we got to level 5 on the cow shard. We've got a skeleton shard. We've got a wither skeleton shard. We now have an enderman shard. All tier 5. All controllable by redstone. And all are being controlled by redstone. Also, if you can see here, I've got nano armor. When my bronze armor broke, I just went ahead and bit the bullet and made that. As this thing loads, you'll see this is where I'm working on setting up the new XP farm. It is massively tall, partially for Enderman, and also because this is a combined XP mob drop farm. As you can see, all of the different spawners set up in there. Excuse me. They are all controlled by wireless redstone. They all have a constant signal on them by default, so it's a safety feature. And those wireless redstone signals are all controlled by this advanced computer. So this is the 20 monitors that we had to find in the previous episode as that prank, and this is the advanced computer. So thank you for donating those. They've become our community XP farm now. As you can see back here, I have set up bundled cable coming out of that guy, and then each individual color as it splits off, yellow is controlling the wither, black skeleton, and so on. They go into NOT gates so that by default, if this cable were to get broke, say a creeper came in here or somebody accidentally broke it, the system would automatically shut down all the spawners as a safety precaution. I did that just for that reason right there, just as a safety. I didn't know, if my code would break or something. If we were to get a creeper shard at some point, there's possibility a creeper could blow up in here. Hopefully that won't happen. I guess that's something I'll have to test in the creative world to see if turtles will trigger a creeper to explode or not. They might, because they act like players quite a bit. Anyway, so basically this computer program here, let's go ahead and kick it on. Let's do cows because they're a little quieter. Just right click on it with your mouse, change to active, and it starts spawning. All it really does is just in the back end in the code, cows are the blue line, so it's activated this blue signal, which turns off the NOT gate, turns off the wireless transmitter, and that in turn turns off the redstone signal to the spawner in there because it has a wireless receiver on the same frequency. To turn it back off, right click again, spawner shuts down, and as soon as all the cows are killed, then everything's good. The drops, some of them are still missing, and I think I have a solution for that. It could also be because our chests are full. But there's just a bunch of transposers down here to pick up the items. I'm assuming these chests are full. No, they're not. Well, something's got it backfilled in there. Maybe one of the other mobs, blaze or something. Yeah, that's probably it. Probably kick out a blaze rods. Yep, everything cleared up now. So that was the issue. Anyway, the next step in the, or next progression on this XP farm is to fully automate it from the standpoint of, if these chests are full, shut off the thing. If you leave it, like, have a triple mode possibility. Currently, it's just on or off. I'm thinking there should be an on, which is a manual on, an off, which is like an override so that it never turns on, and then an automatic. In the automatic mode, what I plan on doing is having the computer using this bundled cable here, which runs underground and can come out over here, monitor the inventory status of these chests. If the chest is full, redstone signal goes over to the computer. The computer then knows to shut off the given mob spawner that produces that drop. So for example, I could easily have this guy monitor leather. When the leather chest is full, he shuts off cows. Or when the gold nugget's full, it shuts off the pigman spawner. Same with blaze rods, etc. So we could really have this thing automatically fill these chests all the time. And the idea behind this is to eventually get to the point where I've got a series of ender chests, one for each type of mob drop, and the system is smart and will just automatically fill those chests all the time. So if anybody from their location, say somebody wants to use blaze rods or cooked steak, that's probably the best one, the cooked steak, which right now I still need to troubleshoot some more and get some modifications to actually cook the steak. But you know, they could set up a corresponding ender chest in their base, and they would have food all the time. So let's see what else we got going on here. I've moved the enchanting station down here. Just put it in a little corner of the room here. This is all going to change eventually. It's just taking me time to do. I'm thinking about using the filler if I can figure out how to get it to work on a 2D plane, because I want to do one wall at a time. And I have my reasons for doing that. I don't want to run into something up above, and this side over here, for example, I don't want it to come out to here, but up at the top I do want it to come out to there. Just kind of give it a little bit of a feature there. In the background here, you might have noticed over on this side, I've set myself up with a reed farm. Real basic. Reeds grow, block breakers on this timer, which I think I have set to like every minute. Breaks the reeds that grow. They go into this chest. This chest is set up to turn them into paper. Pumps them out into this chest. You see we've got a little bit of a supply of paper going on. And then we've crafted them into books. The books then go into that chest over there so that people have books to enchant with. I think right now I will move this whole setup over closer to the new enchanting station. Thought process behind that is it's just real close. I then plan on setting up a method of automatically deploying a book to you every time you walk in there. Walk over a purchase plate, dispenser kicks out a book, you have a book in your hand then to enchant. Just kind of trying to make this whole XP farm as automated as possible so that we don't have to mess with enchanting kind of things. As you can see down here at the bottom of my screen, I am at level 100 already, so This thing is just crazy. If you kick all these on, yeah, let's just do it. Kick all these guys on. It just goes nuts. Especially with some of these spawners that are, the top 3 or 4 spawners there, they go nuts. The bottom one so much won't, from the standpoint of the mobs are close enough. But the rest of them just go crazy. I purposely put the blaze spawner down that low because the blaze, when they fall at a slower rate. So let's kill this. This guy's going crazy already. The blaze fall at a rate that is just too slow. So having them spawn in lower, they get killed quicker that way. As you can see, we're getting all sorts of stuff back here, probably because the blaze are backwards again. Anyway, the XP blindness. Okay, what else should I show off? Let's use our linking book, go up top. I already showed my nano armor. We've been making some progress on getting symbols for the Mistcraft worlds. At the time of this recording, Mistcraft version 0.1 has been released, and DW20 has said that he's going to be included in the next version of the mod pack. So I am very interested to see how that impacts us in terms of the fact that we've already got our Mistcraft ages started. We have a lot of symbols. I wonder if we'll lose all those symbols or what's going to go on, and also what's going to happen to the descriptive books we've already got that we are using. Anyway, I've also got an MFE set up over here, LV transmitter or transformer. Back to the Mistcraft for a second while I'm flying around. I would hate to see some of our ages go. We don't have any dense ores worlds that are stable yet, but we certainly have a crystal world that's stable, so we can get those portals. As you can see, I've got a compressor and a extractor set up over here. The reason for that was just so I could get the nanosuit armor. I will probably be quickly building up my IC2 machines now. I've got a decent supply of iron and everything now, so shouldn't be too much of an issue to go for it. And by the way, that chest of iron was from a quarry that's all natural. Let's see, what else can I show? Well, let's do this. Let's go back to the hub. Let me make a quick cut here so I can charge my battery on my jetpack, and I'll be right back. Okay, all charged up. Back here you can see that I have added several additional lasers to my assembly table setup. In fact, let's make sure this thing's working good. And that was the reason why. Autarkic gates. I was building that book factory back there. I wanted to be able to pump the atoms out without having to use a redstone signal, and that's the way to go to do that. Bringing you in here to the old nether hub. As you can see, we did find crystals, and we have a link book to a crystal world. I think I already said that. But let's go over here to the community machine shop. And the reason is, these guys over here that have been working on this stuff have gone to town. Someone's creeper might have blown up the door there. They have 2 million buckets of lava, and that one's empty. They have all these tanks set up for storage of the various liquids. Creosote oil, a little bit of biomass. So they are just going to town with this stuff. That's awesome. And they've got Tesseracts set up on all these things. Public creosote, public biomass. So that's just great that they're doing this. We've got the floor set up in here. That was my design. It's okay. What else we got? I haven't been in here in a while, so commercial steam engine hooked up to a fermenter. Okay, that must be for the biomass production. And they've got a blast furnace, coke oven. They've just gone to town. And a steam boiler. And I've found the person, or not the person, where we are using the blaze rods at. That XP farm. I want to make some changes to it, but I did not know who was pumping out the blaze rods into an ender chest, and I didn't want to mess up what they were doing, so it's not even running right now, so I don't know what's going on. Where's the energy pulsar? If it's cold, do nothing. Okay. They must have deactivated it. Well, they don't even have it hooked up anyway. They must be going to store steam in a couple different locations. Oh, okay. So they're going to store steam in that tank, and then also use the steam over there. But it looks like the setup, assuming they had this pipe connected there, they might store it in that tank, but they wouldn't use any of the stored steam, because I think those valves are only one way. Oh, okay. They had stored it in there and then used it all. Okay, that makes sense. I've got to get me some of these lights for my lighting. I know that light there is probably producing most of the light in this room, but those ones look nice. Diego did gift me a wrath lamp. I just haven't used it yet. I don't have a location for it where I want to put it. In fact, let's go home and let's put this soul shard in a chest before I lose it flying around and stuff. If I didn't mention it already, Diego went ahead and got us a wither skeleton soul shard. So getting wither skeletons heads, it's just a matter of turning on the spawner now. Really no challenge in that, I guess. But yeah, that's okay, because the wither himself is going to be hard enough. I don't want to put a the wither himself in the XP farm. For one, if I could figure out how to safely kill it in there without destroying the whole machine, it just makes it way too easy then to get the nether stars, and they're used in recipes as something that is hard to obtain for a reason. So I just don't want to do that. And the other reason is I'm pretty sure my current setup would just be blown to bits by that guy. He's crazy. Let's go back over here to the XP farm real quick. I think I forgot to show off any of the code here at all. This is just debug screens. Let's edit the startup. See, and this right here is why I put the NOT gates on there. Right now my whole computer is turned off. It's not monitoring or controlling these spawners at all, but they're off because I have NOT gates on it. That was the reason behind that. So basically what this code is doing, it's wrapping the peripheral of the monitor, writing test out there. In fact, that can be taken out now. That was just me initially getting everything set up. I've got arrays, or tables as they're called in Lua, set up for each of the mob types, and then each of those arrays has the 4 different values that it stores. The name, the state, the line, which the line is which line down from the top it's actually going to be printed on, and the color. And the color is the color of the wire back there that is used to control it. So very simple data structure setup. We do that for each of these, and then we assign all of those tables into another table, so it's kind of a nested setup as mobs. Basically what I'm doing here is kind of forming classes in Lua, which doesn't really use classes, but you can kind of make it so that your code works like a class if you do it in this setup. So basically all of those tables get assigned as an array, elements in the array mobs. And we come down some more. This is some old coding. Again, I probably should clean this up. Then I have a turn on the spawner, and we pass it the spawner that we want to turn on. And what we're passing is actually the name of the spawner. So it's going to print to the local monitor here, this window, spawner, which is the name of the spawner, so it would say skeleton activated. And then we're looping through that table of mobs, checking the name of the mob to see if it's the same as the name of the spawner that was passed into this function. So if we pass pigman, it would look for the pigman variable, And once it gets to that variable, it's going to combine the colors with the other colors that were already on to give us the new state of the colors. So basically what this means is it's going to turn on that yellow line back there for the wither skeleton if we choose wither. It then changes the state of that mob to true, meaning that it's on. It then sets the bundled output to that color set. Same thing happens to turn it off. The only difference is we're subtracting instead of combining the colors, and then setting the state to false, and then you set the output again. Write and print string is just a function that I created myself. It prints to both the monitor over here and then the local screen on the advanced computer. This is just a formatting function that takes the state of the mob, whether it's true or false, and then determines what to print after the mob name over here. You can see it says deactivated right now. If I turn it on, oh yeah, the code's not running. If I turn it on, it says activated. The next section here, it's just drawing out the list of mobs. So it clears the screen, sets the position to the top, prints TSCraft server, XP farm control, and then loops through all the mobs, printing or setting the current position to that line number that the was defined up above, and then prints the name and then formats the state of the mob. Then this section is an initialization function, and this again is just another failsafe. It turns everything off. If I were to reboot this, let's do a startup. Okay, everything's running. Let's turn wither skeletons on. Okay, so they're running. If I were to terminate this program, you can see that they're still spawning. The reason being is that the redstone signal still stays on if you turn the computer off. So whatever the state was at the time that the program ends is the state that'll happen. So as another failsafe, I set the program to default turn everything off. So you can see it's no longer spawning new ones. Those guys are just what was in there from before. Well, let's go back into the code. Oop. So the whole idea behind having all these fail safes was when you have to do maintenance to this thing, for example, I'm going to be entering in there soon and putting in an Enderman shard now that we have one. So I just wanted it to have a default setting of always being off no matter what the state is. The only way that this thing could be on is if someone went over here and purposely turned it on. That's it. If you haven't purposely turned it on, it's not going to be on. Let's go back down here to where I was. Keep this thing going. Redraw init. Okay. So now we're actually into the main code. The init function just gets called so that it turns off all of the spawners and then draws the screen. And then we go into a loop. This main loop here runs all the time, and it's just doing an OS pull event for the touchscreen event. So anytime there's a touchscreen event, the code down below will get ran then. It just sits here and waits until that event is fired. When that fires, it prints out little debug information. It tells you the side it was on, and then the X and Y coordinates, that type of stuff. It then goes into a loop for the mobs variable yet again. It checks the Y position of where you clicked, which the Y position is the up and down, and then compares it to the line number of the mob. So I think this guy here is at line 6, I believe it is. If I were to right click on it, it would report a Y position of line 6. That statement would be true. It would then check to see if the mob is turned on. If it is, it turns it off. If it's not true, it turns it on. And it's that simple. And then down here we redraw again. The purpose of the redraw then is so that if it says deactivated now, it would then toggle to be activated at that time. So that's the code. That's all there is to it. My initial pass at making this code was a little bit more complicated because I didn't have this data structure set up for the to emulate a class really. Now that I've done this, it's as simple as coming up here when I need to add the Enderman, define a new table for the Enderman, give him his 4 parameters, the name, state, line, and color, and then add him to this single line here at the end, this one here, and that should function then. It'll automatically display the new line. It'll automatically accept the input. That's it. That simple. So I really built it in a way that makes it so you can totally customize this. I will probably, once I've got the code cleaned up the rest of the way so that I'm happy with it, get all these extra variables out of here that were, initial debugging variables and things like that. I will probably post this to my website so that you guys can pull it down and use it if you want. Some of the other changes I have in mind for doing it is the draw function, or the redraw function. I'm going to change it so that these words switch to be color-coded. Maybe a normal white for activated, and then bold red type of text for active to stand out. Hey, this thing's turned on. Don't go in there, kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm assuming this episode is getting kind of long at this point because I've been talking a lot. So I'm going to check it, and I'll be right back. Yep, I've been long-winded today. Sorry about a long talky episode today, guys. I know I haven't really built very much on screen here today, but the reason I haven't is because I've built so much off screen and I just had to share it. This spawner here took me quite a while just to place all the glass blocks even. And the way that I've built this room itself, I just logged in the morning, set up my quarry over here, and just let it run all day. So I can get that down there. I don't really have an entrance into it except for linking books. There's a linking book in the hub and all that. So, oh, I forgot to show one thing I wanted to show off. Sorry, I know I said this is almost it. Okay, right here, this Mistcraft crystals turned into portals. I have a book back there. This book goes straight into the new Nether hub. I just love the ability to teleport like that using the crystals. So I just had to use it somehow. I might set this thing up with some type of pressure plate system with pistons and all that jazz, just to make it kind of look like a what's this show called? Stargate type portal, just for fun. No real purpose other than being fun. I guess it would keep mobs from walking into it by mistake if anything were to get out in here. That's probably a good idea. If someone were to have a creeper blow up right here where this thing's on, where there's skeletons and everything else would be wandering around in this general area, they might wander into that portal. That could be very, very bad for our hub. But anyway, like I said, I'm going to have to cut this episode off now. Sorry to say it, but I do. This is Techstack signing off. Have a good day. Bye now.